What is up, ladies and gents? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rafa Esparza, coming to you with another great installment of Running the Gauntlet, a spinoff of the Grappling Hour, where we mix pop culture and jiu-jitsu slash MMA. It is me, your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, and yes, we are going to get to our very special guest here today, but before we do, a couple quick little housekeeping items first and foremost. If you like the show, and I hope that you do, go check us out at patreon.com/grappling hour. You can check out our new interviews there, and we put them up 30 days before anybody else. So that means stuff when they go up free for YouTube, that means those jabronis get it way later than you guys who go there first. Plus, we have some extra bonus content, including tape studies with athletes and fighters who talk about their matches or their fights with me and break down the techniques there. We also have a segment called Roast Raf, where people roast my competition footage, which surprisingly is our most successful segment. Don't know why. And of course, we also have extra bonus content, just not available anywhere else. And if you want to help us on this show, you can like, comment, and subscribe. It really does go far. So I will be monitoring the comment section for you guys and keeping a note on what you guys want to talk about, as we have topics here and we have a guest. And again, getting to him momentarily. Last couple little items, housekeeping. We are adding new episodes and new content of our Grappling Hour audio experiences. Those are going up on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. And I think, friends, that will pretty much take us to where we need to be, which is talking about our guest. Our guest is somebody who I have admired a lot. Like, his moveset is really fun to watch. He is nicknamed the Mantis, and it's easy to see why. He's lanky, but he's powerful. And I have to say, if there's one thing I'm semi-jealous of here, it's how it looks like he does most of the techniques he demonstrates with relative ease. Like, normally, even when I demonstrate a move on video, we have to do several cuts. But I recently saw this man do what was one of the most disgusting looking arm bars just by kind of jumping into it, like Superman going into a cape very quickly out of a telephone booth. It's very impressive. Nonetheless, he is somebody who I have been very, very happy to talk to on a couple occasions. He's an all-around chipper and good guy. He also hosts a show with our good friend Matt Scaff, which is Scaff and the Mantis. And I mean, I never could see that pairing coming, but now I can't imagine it without each other because both of them really suit each other very well. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, one, Travis Thomas. Travis, how are you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on the show.
It's easy to have you on, sir. You are a gentleman. You are quite kind. And, we made this one happen a little bit last minute, but you've been somebody who's been on my radar. I guess the best question I have for you is this. When you're filming these techniques, like, what is the best response you see? Do you even know when they're doing that footage? Like, it looked like almost like it was a King of the Hill format where it was just like people were coming in and out. And then you kind of caught this armbar that I like, triangle armbar. My apologies.
Yeah.
That I go, where did that come from? And were you planning on that, or did you just feel it in the moment?
So actually, that is Triangle in Nashville. And on the way up that day, I had got sent the J-Rod footage of him showing that. He did a little video with some guy. And when I got there, I just had set up a tripod and was trying to work that move. And that was really the first time that I was able to set it up like I wanted to. And yeah, it wasn't set up or anything. It was just a little trying a new move.
I mean, I try new moves all the time. What I liked about it was you could tell that it was newer, but that it fit into your arsenal very well. So sometimes you get those gifts that kind of fall into your lap that you go, oh, this actually works well with my move set. So there was a looseness to you when you were transitioning to the ground that I go, oh, okay. He's kind of oh, no, he hasn't. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah.
So I think that video is also doing very well for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm super into flying attacks. So I feel super comfortable jumping up on somebody's head like that.
Perhaps I don't know things about animals, but or insects, I guess I should say. But do mantises fly? Is that part of the nickname? Because I'm not familiar with their move set.
I think that they do have wings and they can maybe like flutter around a little bit. I don't think they're just like massive flying insects. The nickname came from I went and did a quintet and I ran through the whole first team and then I put three away on the last team. And after I got done on the way home, my buddy he was just like, "Man, I don't know if you know this, but when you grapple, you just latch onto them like a mantis and you never let go." And then I was like, "Shit, I think that's a great nickname," and I've just ran with it.
No, it's 100% a great nickname. And I mean, just given how tall and lanky you are, like it fits. And every time I've seen you, I go, yeah, I kind of get it. I'm with you on that nickname. I wish
Yeah.
I hit the nickname Jackpot like that. So if I were you, I would hold on to that. So for you, when that does come up until then, did anybody pitch a nickname at you? Did anything even come close on the dartboard to like hitting a possible other nickname, if not for that?
No, my dad always called me like T squared because I'm Travis Thomas, and I thought that was a pretty cool play on my name, and we can maybe do some cool designs. But no, I've never had any nicknames really besides that.
So I'm curious here. Did you play other sports? How did you find us in jiu-jitsu? Where did we come in?
So I grew up my whole life playing baseball, and then when I moved to Alabama, I started playing football. I did 1 year of wrestling in high school, and it was no coach, no teammates. I was just a senior and told my football coach that I wanted to do wrestling, and he set it up. I went like 9-1 or 10-1 through the season, and I mean we didn't know anything about it. We even forgot to like pay a payment, so I got disqualified for sectionals or state or whatever the next.
No.
Yeah. Um, and then I went on to college to play football. I cheered in college for a year, and then I played arena football for a year, and that's all the sports I did. I was working on welding and pipe fitting, and I was just about to move to Texas to try to work on a pipeline. And one of my buddies had just said, like, "Yo, I think before you give up on athletics, that you should try mixed martial arts." So I came into jujitsu looking to fight, and I've had 6 amateur fights. Uh, I just tried to go pro last year and couldn't find a good fit for a debut. Tons of cancellations, tons of pullouts, and so I've just been rocking jujitsu for now.
Okay, lots to uncover here. Let's take a second. What did you enjoy most about football? Now, hold on. You said that you did both football and cheer, so you were on both sides of the equation here?
Yeah, so I did the competition cheer team, which is like after football season.
Okay. So they
Yeah.
basically saw you on the field and they're like, "Hey, this dude looks like he can lift with ease. So can we bag this dude? Like how did that come into play?"
Yeah, I the school I went to was Kentucky Christian University, so it's a super small college, and the nurse on the football team was the cheerleading coach, and I just one day in football was flipping around and doing some stuff, and she was like, "Hey, if you want to come try cheerleading, we for sure could use another guy." And then I went in there and I enjoyed it, so we ran with it.
That is so random in our sense because in maybe even California where I live, there are people who have to kind of pick one or the other. You don't get to do both. So I don't
Yeah.
know if it's the seasons or they go to a different sport, but you seem like you have fallen into a number of different really cool experiences. When you say that you also played arena football, what was that experience like? Because that's with fans. And I don't know if you know this, but in jiu-jitsu, we don't have a ton of those.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know, what does it feel like to perform for fans in that kind of establishment?
I thought arena football was super cool. I think the fact that it's like not a super popular pro sport, a lot of the people on the teams are kind of like people who have been there for a while, and I feel like there's a lot of politics in arena football. But it's super exhilarating to go out on a field where people are diehard fans for a team or fans against the team, and you got a just a super exciting fan base surrounding the whole arena. It's pretty wild experience.
Interesting. So you got to taste football, and we're about to get to the topics here in a second, but if somebody were to come up to you and say, we're either going to let you play football or we're going to give you an opportunity at the Craig Jones Invitational, which would you pick?
Oh, I would 100% do the Craig Jones Invitational. I most definitely love all sports, and I did love football. I think that football's super bad for your body. I would not advise anybody to play football anymore. But man, I love martial arts. I think not just the sport aspect, but I love everything about it. And I think that I wouldn't turn down any jujitsu or martial arts experience for anything else.
Good to know. And you know what?
Yeah.
The right answer given this current environment, because I want to make sure everybody who wants to compete at either ADCC or CJI, we are very, very pro them being like, get your pitches in, because it's starting to get a little thin on those invites. So I want to make sure that everybody says what they want very clearly out loud. But that's dope, man.
Yeah, I think I would be a great addition to any promotion. I think that while there are some people who have the title of most exciting grapplers, I don't necessarily agree. I think that I go out there and lay it all out. I'm not going to go to a decision. It's either going to be me getting a sub or me getting subbed, but I'm most definitely going to be the most exciting on the mats at all times.
Well, you've definitely done good work for us over at Subversive. So on behalf of that, thank you for that. I definitely enjoyed that. I was up in a control booth watching it and going, oh, well, yeah, that's pretty dope. So big ups to you. And I just want to make sure that I can definitely affirm, like, if LinkedIn has one of those like endorse kind of things for people in their careers, I feel like we should have those in jiu-jitsu. It's like, I endorse this man's guillotine. Yes.
Well, hell yeah, I appreciate it.
Of course. Again, before we get to the topics, I see so many tattoos. They're very clear. I see them on your Instagram constantly. Like, how many tattoos do you have, and how many more do you plan to get?
I plan to get as many as I can afford. I've actually been super blessed with just getting opportunities to get cheap tattoos that were done right. I would say that I have probably over 50 tattoos. I have a full arm sleeve, and then I have just tons of little tattoos. The top of my left leg is like 25 tattoos that I've done myself, just with the tattoo gun in my room.
So nope. Let's go back here. We're going to stop here. Yourself. You tattooed yourself.
Yeah, and my buddy. I let my buddy do it too.
Okay. Now, I'm not an artist, so I don't let anybody draw anything on this body. Not yet. I don't know that I'm ever getting a tattoo. I think I'm the opposite version of this. Having said that, what compels you? What makes you decide, or what convinces you that, you know what, I want a tattoo, I'm going to do it myself?
Yeah, I don't know, really. I really love tattoos, and obviously, like, I love great tattoos, but there's times that I just want a tattoo, and I like limited it to the top of my leg so most people don't see it. But at the same time, I really just don't care. It's like, it's my body, and I like art, and I think that art's beautiful in all forms. So while my tattoos may not look great, it just reminds me of good times in my life. So there's that.
No, of course. Art can be very beautiful, but my hands are terrible at drawing art. I know this because teachers told me this for years. So, and I have to say, the thing that used to really make me mad, and I know Matlock Jiu-Jitsu is watching this, and he is an excellent artist, but I used to hate artists when I was a child, because when you're in kindergarten, they would see you draw something, and they'd look at the artist and they go, oh my God, you're so gifted. Look at you. Now, I was a writer. You don't know that until much later
Yeah.
in life. Nobody tells you in kindergarten you put together this sentence very well. They're just like, hey, I mean, you're not dumb, so congratulations, you wrote a full sentence. The verb, it was right. You did it right. I didn't find out I was a writer until like 4th or 5th grade, where I really had a passion for it. I even have our artists in the chat telling me that is wild tattooing yourself, and I'm an artist. So the boldness of being able to do that. Did anybody try to talk you out of it? Because you said you did 25. How many of those are yours? Are all 25 of those yours? Or did you split off with the buddy and you're like, hey man, you're my bro. I love you. You can have this one.
Well, I probably did like 15, like 10 to 15, and then he just wanted to do them as well, so he did it. And it wasn't all at once, it was just like over a period of time. But sadly, I'm not an artist either, and they're all very bad tattoos.
Wouldn't that be enough evidence to stop doing them then? Maybe like after 6, you're like, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. Maybe I should stop myself here.
Somehow they kind of fit though. Like they are really bad, but somehow when you see them, you don't think like, ooh, white trash tattoos. You just kind of think, that's so.
I mean, the good news is the chest piece is solid. So like the people who did the upper body, kudos to them, because I've looked at that and been like, all right, man, that looks pretty dope. And especially when you're going to be doing as much strength and conditioning training and you're going to be like, oh, did this shirt go off? Oops, here it is, everybody. I'm like, this dude definitely got the right tattoo for that part of his body. So I think that works.
Most of my visible tattoos are pretty good, and like I said, I got lucky. There's a lot of tattoos that I paid $20 for to an apprentice, and he just did a wonderful job.
All
So
right,
I
so
lucked out.
last question on this set. What is the worst tattoo you have? And I imagine it's one of yours, but can you describe it? I don't know even if you need to show it. I don't know if you can, but what is the worst tattoo that you do have?
It is probably. I was trying to do a jellyfish, and it turned into what I call a plunger man. So it's just like a guy with the plunger head, and it's a stick figure, and then it kind of has little jellyfish lines coming off.
I have to tell you, Travis, this is easily a conversation I could probably do an entire interview over, because I think in the future, you and I may have to do one episode per tattoo. Like one of these is just like detailing like, all right, now what happened here? And you can tell me the story attached to it, because what I do find as somebody who doesn't have tattoos is that I do have common ground with those who get a lot of tattoos, and that I'll share them back and forth because I go, I'm not getting any, but I can appreciate good art. And even more than appreciating good art, I send him when I think a tattoo is terrible. Like, this is further evidence I would never get one. And he's like, oh my God, that is awful. And on occasion, I'll send him one that I'm like, I think this one's cool. I would consider this one. So I feel,
away.
What's that?
I might take away all your hopes of getting a tattoo.
I got to be honest, man. I think it's kind of very similar to when people have come up to me and they're like, yo, you cover MMA. And I go, yeah. They go, yeah, but have you ever wanted to fight? And I go, no. It's a very clear, I know who I am. I'm okay. And they took a long time to get to a point where even I wanted to compete in jiu-jitsu, because I was just like, I'm not interested. But I have told people, I go, if I ever want to do something, I just do it. So they'll know if I get a tattoo, but I'm pretty on the no side. So we'll see in the future. That could always change. But I'm just of the mindset of like, nah, it's just not my thing. And then at the same point, when I see somebody like you, I go, oh shit, well, he gets tattoos. That's what you're supposed to do. Like, that makes sense for you. That is a very cool thing to do, but it's an expression of being an artist. So we're all artists in different ways.
Yeah. I will say though, it's sometimes pleasant to see clean skin, because so many people do have tattoos that seeing somebody with clean skin, it's like, that's kind of dope. It's like you're the outsider, and I think I like people who are unique in that way. Like Matt Scaff is one of the coolest people I know, not because he does anything crazy, but he does a lot. Like there's a lot of things that tons of people do that he just does not want to do, and I think that's super cool.
It's, you know what it is? It's sometimes you can't be peer pressured into things. And I think what happens is, much like you're comfortable in your skin of like, that's where your art is, that's where you are. I think somebody like Scaff, and we're different. I know Scaff and I are very different, but I do relate to him in the sense that it's kind of like, hey man, I'm just not interested. But you guys, that's dope. Oh, look at this, look at that. Like, I get that part about him. B-Mac and I were just having a conversation about him because, you know, he always comes up in conversation. And originally, the bullpen, which I do with Tim Freeman for PGF, it featured Scaff. And the only reason we didn't go together is because he wasn't going to take the time off, or he couldn't get the time off to come with us live in Vegas. And I was like, oh, it's not because we don't like Scaff. Be very clear. I love him. I would take him on a desk. It's just harder to do in person versus a remote version. So I was just like, damn, dude, it kind of sucked not having him there. And we were fortunate to have Jake, but it's, every time somebody was like, what happened to Scaff? And I was like, hey, be very clear. I would happily take a Scaff anytime.
Yeah, I mean, Scaff is a mastermind, one, but two, it's almost impossible to get him away from the gym because he is such a menace to skill development that not only does he want his skills to get better still, he wants everybody in the gym to get better. And even like if it's a competition for me, and Scaff's like my main coach, you know, he's just like, man, can't always take off because we got a whole team to look forward to, which I love because then that just gives me better training when I get back. But yeah, Scaff is super hard to pull away from the gym, and I love that about him.
That's all right. I'll figure out a way to pull him away, though. I'm gonna figure out a way. I haven't figured it out yet, but
I know the rest of it, dude. I know it.
You do?
It's lots of money and beautiful women.
Oh man, I don't have either of those things. Well, okay. Good to know. Me either. Well, he's coaching you, so I feel like if I kidnap you, I've got at least a decent shot of him being like, well, I put time into that, so I want it back, please.
That's super.
What I can tell you, though, is this summer, we will be having an open seat on the bullpen. So tell your boy we would love for him to come guest host, because I would love for him to come back on the show and fill in for us. So just putting that out there.
Yeah. Are you guys going to do the next PGF season?
That is the current plan. That is definitely in the works. So I don't see, that's the hard part, is I don't know that he's going to do, I don't know that he would come out again, because it's the same issue.
I think it's possible that I can get him to come this time because I'll be on this season. I don't know if that's not like I'm leaking information saying I'm.
Yeah, no. I'm not worried about that. You know what? That's the best part. When I don't say anything, it doesn't come out of my mouth. There's not a BMAC being like, oh man, I can't believe you said that. Like, that doesn't happen. I'm too stupid to remember stuff like that. When you guys say it, I'm like, oh, that he'll talk to you guys. That's not me. I do know that you were on the list. Yeah, I mean, looks like potentially a spot may be open if that's the case. But I would tell you this. I just know that during the summer, there's some things that are happening potentially that he would slide in very well with. But if he's going to be there for PGF, we will definitely be in talks in some way or another.
I'll for sure give him the information about this summer.
Wonderful. Very wonderful.
We're trying to plug ourselves.
Let's get back to you. Screw Scaff. We're done with him. That dude's old news. All right, I'm done with him. I'm going to stay home and be the world's most cool, normal guy in the world. You, sir. I see 6 topics on this board right now. Now, normally I ask the guys to pitch me one, and you were like, dude, I'm so chill. Nothing upsets me. I'm all good. I was like, all right, then I'm going to normally like to have one in the bag for you. But these are 6 new topics to you. Are there any topics here that you see that scare you?
No, I don't think so.
All right, you say that very boldly, but we will see if that is indeed the case. So the way this works is you pick one of the topics, you will get 60 seconds, the remaining of it, after I read you a certain prompt. So it's pretty easy. If I feel the need, I will go ahead and give a response on my stuff as well. But sir, it looks like right now the board is up to you. So I will start off by asking you, where would you like to lead off first?
Okay, I want to go with easy because it seems like that might be easy, but who knows? We'll see.
I do like that. As someone who puts out technique videos that make it all look so easy, what has been the most difficult move for you to put on film?
Oh man, that's super easy. Heel hooks. I do not know what the problem with my leg game is. I think that my legs are super long and maybe my brain isn't connecting with my legs good enough because the length of them. But yes, heel hooks or anything of that fashion is the hardest thing for me to relay out to people and even to myself.
How many times would it take you to do a heel hook video if you were just doing a 60-seconder?
Oh, honestly, I could probably get it done in one, even though I'm saying it's hard. I could probably get it done in one. The real issue with the technique videos is the joke at the beginning and the joke at the end. Those are always made up on the spot, and I can never think of them.
So hold on. You have ghostwriters feeding you the material then?
For the instruction?
Well, for the joke. Because it sounds like, see, this is where my department goes into. What you just described is exactly what I would do on certain sets where I would write the joke and hand it to somebody and it's for the talent to read. Now, we just all assume that you're this very clever, witty guy. So now you're telling me there's a version of me off camera that writes the joke and goes,
Oh, no. This is all me and my cameraman Grayson and my uke, however you say that. I don't speak Japanese. We all we all show up at the gym Wednesdays after training and we run through these. I have like written down all the moves that I want to do for the night and then we run through them. But the beginning joke, I have to sit there and go through 3 or 4, sometimes 12 different jokes that I need their reaction to hit to make sure that it's going to go good on the video. But these are all organic. People have even told me to use like ChatGPT, but I hate social media anyways. So if I'm gonna do it, I might as well just be as organic as possible. I don't like stealing things from people or doing trendy little videos. I just try to do everything my way, especially since I don't like doing it.
I mean, it would fool me because you, when you do those jokes, they come off very well. Like I'm very pleased with it. And I'm probably, admittedly, one of the hardest audiences to get.
Dang, dude, that's good. It's because I'm telling you, it's because it's organic. It's real. You can feel that from my heart.
I feel like it's just not overdone. Like, I think you hit the right level of, here it is. I'm not making it bigger than it is. This is the joke. And we're straight into the technique. And for me, I like, as a joke writer, it's hard for me to sit there and be like, oh God, just get to the fucking move, dude. I don't need the fucking joke. Like, I hear so many bad jokes, and even the king of our sport at jokes is Craig. And Craig Jones, to me, is like, I think of him less as a great joke writer. He's obviously a great troll, but more as just like someone who points at somebody else and goes, do you believe this shit? And I go, you're right. What the fuck are we supposed to do? And Marigali's like, nah, technically she's 18. And you go, oh my God. Like, no, dude. Yeah, sure. You cleared the bar. The limbo bar, you literally got over it very, very briefly. So that's why when I see somebody like you come in, I was like, oh, these are good jokes. I like that. That plays well. So kudos to you, sir.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
I'll do my response very quickly, but we're going back to easy. We'll take the camera off you. I'll tell you this. I don't know that anybody really comes to my stuff watching for jiu-jitsu techniques to learn something, but a lot of you do come for the WWE BJJ stuff. So the pro wrestling stuff that we'll occasionally do videos for. Little hint, whenever we do one of those big matches, I do try to tell the guys like, hey, there is a good way to take this and a bad way to take this. So we'll actually rehearse it a couple times. And there's one instance where one of the guys was like, I don't need to rehearse this. And I was like, please do, because I'm probably not the one going to get hurt. And they're like, no, I'm fine. And then they like hit it. They're like, I don't think I'm fine. And I was like, was this my fault? I'm so sorry. And they're like, no, I didn't land well on it. And I go, motherfucker, this is exactly why we rehearse. Like, if I tell you guys you need more rehearsal time, this is why. So I like to think my favorite over here, Bret Hart, best there is, was, ever will be, is because he never injured anybody. I have that rule in jiu-jitsu, same with WWE BJJ. So that's where people come to see me.
Nice. The Heartbreak Kid, dude?
Well, no, hold on. That's the enemy. I was a Bret Hart guy. I am assuming you were a Shawn Michaels guy.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, as much as I don't even know who's who, that's how much of a fan I was. But yeah, I mean, the what's his move? The the kick, what's
The
the
super
kick called?
kick. It's sweet chin music is what he's got.
Music, dude. Yeah, that shit's sick. If I had to pick a favorite wrestler, it'd be Rey Mysterio, though, because he's so acrobatic and crazy.
That's a very good pick. And honestly, like, Ray's up there for me. I'm also an Eddie Guerrero guy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys who I have different respect for. Part of the reason why you see back here, this is Bret Hart making Stone Cold pass out. And in the background, that's Ken Shamrock, who was the referee of that match. So a guy by the name of Ben Folks, a very popular MMA writer. I saw him put up a painting that he got from this guy named Sam Evans. I just went to a site because I was like, oh, it's a Goodfellas one. And I was like, oh, that's really dope. Let me see what other stuff this guy has. And I found he had a whole pro wrestling section. I was like, oh, shit. I want that. Because anybody who knows me knows my story was I got into jiu-jitsu because when you're a kid, you're just scrapping around, you're doing pro wrestling, you're messing around with your buddies. And I always gravitated toward Bret because I wasn't always the biggest guy, but I was very technical. And that stuff would later come through when it became like, oh, I like jiu-jitsu and I kind of understand this because I watched him do these technical variations of things. So
cool.
It definitely got my brain working. So a lot of times the big joke that we have is when guys get like moves, I'll find the Boston Crab in a roll. I'll find a figure four. I'll find a sharpshooter. And they're like, how do you keep finding this? And I was like, because I did that first. My brain is very stupid. I'm not good at this, but I'm very good at finding stupid moves to catch people with.
Yeah, we've done a couple, like some dudes will come in for like a men's conference and us jiu-jitsu guys will roll with them to basically beat them up and show them they're not that dope. And I've hit most of those dude with the Boston Crab Trap plenty of times.
You know what it is? It's like, it's such a debilitating move because like especially if I get it on video, the first thing they ask me is like, are you putting that up? And I go, well, it depends. Are you gonna be a dick about this? Because if you're a dick about it, it's for sure going up. If not, no. I mean, I just tell people. And I go, if anything, I send it to the same 4 or 5 pro wrestling nerds and I just go like, oh, I caught another one today. But
that's hilarious.
Recently there was a kid who, I always tell people, I go, I don't pick on civilians, which means you have to be a pro wrestling fan for me to do the move too. And I go, so there was a kid who I caught with the single leg variation of it. It's almost like belly down, but you kind of come up and you could sit on him a little bit, but I was just like, all right, I don't know you. And his coach, who's one of my really good friends, he goes, did you catch him in a half crab? I go, I did, man. And he's like, why don't you do a full Boston Crab? I was like, I don't know your kid well enough, dude. And he seems like a civilian. He doesn't seem like a pro wrestling fan. So I'm not going to do the full move. And
that's like, good training, though.
Kind of. But then he looks at me and he goes, man, I kind of wish you did. I was like, uh-oh. I roll with the kid again and I immediately catch it. And this kid's like, what the fuck, man? And I go, I'm sorry, man. It's kind of like he dared me to do it. So now I have to do it.
I mean, I hear that for sure. I for sure hear that.
But I also recognize you have such long legs. The likelihood of me doing it to you, I think you might be safe. But now I know that of all things, heel hooks are kind of your weakness in terms of
Yeah.
explaining. So I am taking notes. So I do feel like that move might be an possibility. So we'll see if
Well,
we ever get the chance to trade.
I think this too. I think maybe not just techniques. I think real life heel hooks are my weakness. They're getting better for sure, but if somebody wants a path to victory, the legs are what they should shoot for,
Good luck,
and
dude.
I'm willing to let them know. You know what I mean? So
I appreciate that about you. I like to tell people my playbook because I go, hey, if you come to roll with me, here's what will probably beat me.
yeah,
Let's see if you do it. Sounds good.
I can pretty much sub you in any way that I want besides the legs, and that's how I feel about everybody. So
That's what's up. Look at that. All right, sir. We're going to our second topic now. Where are we going next?
all right, let's go to
Go to it is. Travis, it's late at night. You've just smoked out. Name your 3 most reliable go-to snacks when high.
Okay. All right. So there's a gas station that's right by my house that's 24 hours. So I usually hit that up almost probably 4 times a week at least. I would say a family pack of tropical Mike and Ike's, a bag of Ray's black pepper maple bacon chips, and I always top it off with a SpongeBob ice cream popsicle stick. Um, yeah, those are for sure the 3 from the gas station. If I'm able to make a Publix run, I like getting Boar's Head chocolate hummus and Dot's pretzel sticks, cinnamon sugar flavor.
Okay, let's get into this right now. You have perhaps the highest version of a munchie I think I've ever seen. Like, this is such a specific set of things that you're like, no, man, I'm all about these specific flavors. You have a little bit of ice cream. You have a little bit of, was almost like chips that you got.
Yeah, those are chips, the Ray's chips.
Good Lord, you touched like almost every food demographic for stoners possible. So this is truly impressive, sir. What are you not gravitating toward when you smoke out though?
So I'm allergic to dairy. So like
Ah,
I can't do chocolate or real ice cream or any kind of cheese. So those are what I'm not gravitating towards.
I have to tell you
Um,
this because I don't know if you've ever seen the hat. I think it's usually in reference to something else. Let's put it that way. But
okay.
it's the hat that says "not diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure." And
Yeah.
I want to wear that, but not for the reasons I think most other people would wear it. I want to wear one because I am fairly certain I am lactose intolerant. And this has been for a
Mhm.
long time. But I just tell
Yeah.
people, I'm like, why do I need this test? I know how it makes me feel. I'm pretty sure I know what it means. So while it doesn't mean I'm dying or allergic to it, it just means that I'm like, I don't think I want to be around people if I have ice cream afterwards. Like, I want to have ice cream and be like, are we done?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I want to
You're
get out
not
of here
going
now, guys.
you're staying in for ice cream.
I used to have friends who would be like, all right, let's go get ice cream. And you thinking like, oh, it's the end of the night. And they'd be like, all right, we got ice cream. Where do you guys want to go next? I was like, home.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to be home in the next 30.
Well, 100%. Nobody's going to want to hang out with me afterwards, guys. Very sorry about that. So I have to tell you that one. Unfortunately, the go-to was specific to you because I also do not smoke weed. So I have nothing on that one. The only thing I could tell you is as a fat kid, I like food at night sometimes, but as anybody who does any kind of fitness will tell you, probably not the best of ideas.
Yeah, I think what's crazy is I've always ate like I eat. And man, I don't know how accurate the in bodies are, but I never get above 7% body fat. Even when I'm not training really hard, I stay pretty low. And I say it's because I eat a lot of candy and I drink a lot of caffeine, and those wire up my body to just get the fat off.
Yeah, okay. I would be a lot more mad at you had you not just walked me through part of your workout before we went to air. And once you start getting around like, oh yeah, for my birthday we did like 300s, and I go, yeah, we don't have the same workout plan. My dude's lucky
Yeah,
if he gets 4 sets of 20, dude. You're out
I
here
hear you.
telling me you got 300 planned. I'm like, dude, maybe back in the day, I used to be that guy who could knock those out. But the problem with me with that high of a number is the likelihood of me doing it consistently drops off.
Yeah,
But I would do them and I would just be like, I don't know any better. So now when I have somebody yelling at me, they're like, how many do you do? And I was like, I don't know, dude. I did like 4 sets of 25. They're like, that's good. I go, I should have done like, you know what I mean? You always in your brain, you're like, I know I could do more. I could do this. They're just telling you, they're like, if you don't do it this way for you,
yeah,
you won't want to do it tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, that's
yeah,
fair. All right. So I think you just have to find what works for you. So once you start mentioning 300, I'm like, yep, sounds good. Let me know how it goes, dude.
yeah. Listen, we Scaff's a crazy leader. No, we're not talking about Scaff, but we went to Austin this weekend, did main character, and we drove back right after the event because we all wanted to be home. So it was like 12 to 13 hours in the car that we drove throughout the whole night. All of us slept maybe an hour or two. We pulled up at the gym at 10:30, and Scaff went straight into the strength and conditioning and did strength and conditioning with all the guys, and still took fourth in the event that they pulled off, which was a quarter-mile run with 100, like a quarter-mile run with 100 reps of an exercise, and they did 4 sets of that.
Scaff is a
So
madman, dude. And
I'm telling
goddamn, dude. What an insane human being. But at the same point, like, I think that's just the shit he's made out of. Like, sometimes you can't help but be that person you are. So even if I were to tell him, like, Scaff, what an insane thing to do, he's like, well, it's what I do. It's just what I'm
you.
gonna
Yep.
do. And you go, yeah, can't tell you no. You do you, bud.
Yeah. He said, "Man, I didn't do anything this weekend," and I was like, okay, okay."
I have a feeling it is probably better that Scaff and I live in different states. Otherwise, I would probably be incredibly frustrated by like his ability to both be very good at jiu-jitsu, which is annoying, but also
Mhm.
just his like normalness of saying, "Oh, yeah, dude, I just worked out, but it was nothing." And you're like, dude, that workout was like 5 of my workouts. You can fuck off. It wasn't nothing. You did a lot of work. So he's definitely somebody I'd be like, how do you Scaff? How do you live? Like,
Yeah,
what makes you you? So I'd probably be incredibly like throwing my hands up in the air like Scrooge McDuck.
he's for sure a monk, just in
Absolutely.
America.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
He's our version. That we'll
yeah,
get, you know what? Actually, if you go down that route, that's actually a really smart idea because then you guys could get taxes exempt for religious
yeah,
purposes. All right, we're going to see if we
absolutely.
can fit that one through. All right. Take me through your next topic, sir. Where would you like to go next?
All right, let's go to pump. We're talking about workouts. Let's go to pump.
All right. Pump it is. Sir, you're about to compete. Give me 3 songs that you're playing in your headphones as you warm up.
Oh man, I am most definitely not a music before competition guy. I'm not the guy warming up with my headphones on and getting in the zone. But I will say I do like a good playlist when I'm training the week of, and this summer is a Sabrina Carpenter summer. So the 3 songs I would listen to her or listen by her are Feather, Espresso, and Please, Please, Please. And I could put those on repeat and get killer training sessions in the week of a competition. As long as everybody in the gym doesn't say anything about the girl pop music, which sadly I think is probably one of the best genres. So
Interesting. Okay, so nobody gives you shit about it though, right?
Brandon does because he likes Pearl Jam.
Well, okay. Brandon grew up in a different era as well, because I don't think you're the
Right.
same age as us. So let me get something straight here. Sabrina Carpenter, if not her, who else? Because I'm trying to figure out why you feel this need to defend girl pop. Because girl pop in itself has all the elements you probably need for good workouts. Beats,
Mm-hmm.
insane usual positive messages, and
Yes.
uh usually a thread about overcoming something, sometimes a relationship, sometimes their own insecurities, whatever it may be. So if
Yeah.
not her, who else are you playing? Because that might tell me if Brandon might get mad or not.
Okay, old Taylor Swift. I don't think Taylor Swift's music's as good since she's got her own, since she's got the rights over her music now. I think that it's went downhill. Um, and probably Ariana Grande. I think I'm just on a huge Sabrina Carpenter kick because I just found out about her, and I guess everybody else knew about her for a while, but I just heard her and I'm on it.
I do have news for you guys. I don't think you should ever feel bad about that because you guys are in Alabama and by design, you're supposed to get it later. So it's not like it's bad for you where you're like, how did I not know about this? It's like, bro, there was no hope. You were always going to find out late.
I feel that. When I moved from Las Vegas to Alabama, I thought that I'd time traveled.
So you're originally from Vegas.
I was born in California, moved to Las Vegas when I was 8, and then moved to Alabama when I was 12.
Copy that. All right. So you kind of understand us in LA. You definitely understand a different world in Vegas.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a big jump to go from Vegas to Alabama.
I would have to agree. It was yeah, very wild.
So my thing is, yeah, BMAC loves him some grunge era music. Like, I feel like if he could time travel, he would want to be doing that kind of concert going. I think, man, God, this takes me back. I think there was a Temple of the Dog reunion in LA, and he was coming around that time. And that's like the super group of like Chris Cornell and Eddie Vedder and all these guys. And I remember telling him, I was like, I think you need to go to that. And he's like, oh, I don't know if I should. I mean, it'd be nice and all, but like, I don't know. And I go, dude, you're going to kick yourself. And then I want to say shortly after that, what's his face from Chris Cornell? I think he passed. And I always wanted to be like, bro, I tried telling you needed to go. Like, God damn it. And I've never brought it up, but I've always been like in the back of my mind, like, BMAC, this is why I tell you need to go, because you're giving your own people at your gym shit for playing any other music other than your 90s grunge.
Yeah. Which, hey, it's his gym. I understand. He's got to train too, but I mean, it's a Sabrina Carpenter summer, and I stand by that.
Espresso is a jam. I'll give you that. I'll go with that.
I think it's going to be my new walkout song.
God, please do. 100% please do.
I'm going to have a little dance that I do with it. Not too choreographed, just super simple, 1 to 2 moves, repetitive.
I will tell you this. Yo, you go. Sorry.
Just something right there.
See, I think this is, again, why we're opposites, because I don't want to do the match. I just want the walkout. I want to fully, like, old school pride fighting, like, choreographed, go out there, make the scene, and then just be like, and that's it. I'm not competing. That's it. That was fun. I just wanted to walk out because I've always told people, I'm like, oh, half the time I see showmanship, I go, need some work. Or I see somebody who's like, oh man, they're like, what an epic walkout. And I go, wasn't that good?
Yeah. I'm thinking mine can be subtle enough that it doesn't look like I'm trying so hard that people will judge me on it, but they will also appreciate the fact that I'm doing something for the people.
That's a good choice. I think you're right in that middle pocket, and I think that's a good place to be. So let me do mine very quickly, and we'll go to our next topic. But let's do, that was supposed to be pump. Okay. Camera off you and back to me. Bam. Okay. So when I'm competing, I usually have certain playlists that I'll kind of scroll through, but it depends on my mood. Some days I go in a little bit more playful, and I'll kind of be in a zone of like, all right, what's kind of current or something to that effect. Most days it's going to be the following people who will make appearances. Tribe Called Quest, usually a World Tour or Electric Relaxation. Those are two of the ones that I always go to. I'll usually have something to get the heart rate up. So sometimes like Rage Against the Machine, I'll play. Because by nature, I'm very like chill. So it's got to be something to get me a little bit more pumped. And then like a surprise. Like, you know what I fucking love and that needs to make a comeback? Fucking 90s techno. Like, you need jock jams in your life, because I will tell you this. Every time you hear one of those dumb get up, you feel like you're playing basketball bullshits, it's hard not to feel like, hey, there's a stage out there. I'm going to perform. This feels good. So those are some ones, but I would tell you this. Actually, you know what? I can pull up one of these. Let me see. Let me see what's on my list real quick, and I'll give you a real version of what goes through my head. Because this weekend I was supposed to compete, but they had no one in my division. So I had to do the show up, and they're like, "We'll find out in an hour." So cut to me, just, are we going? And they're like, we don't have any other old people. We can give you the 18 and over division. Not interested. No, thank you. Or we can give you your age, but 5 years younger, and the 207 boys. And I was like, oh, cool. I'm 173 right now. Yeah. You guys
don't want to do that.
You get, like, especially when I'm just like, I'm in a grumpy ass mood. Y'all can fucking suck it. I'm going to leave. So at that point I was just like, all right. But in my head, I was like, they literally, because they don't give you an answer. They just told me, they're like, all right, come through the bullpen and take a seat and get ready and get warm. And I go, am I competing? They're like, we're not sure yet. I go, am I warming up? Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
I like the, okay. The first 3 songs right now, just to give you an idea of how much the range is. The first one is Pray For Me by The Weeknd and Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
The second one is All Right by Kendrick Lamar, so I'm clearly on a kick. But the third one is Tom Petty's Running Down a Dream. So I like a range of bullshit. And then the next one after that is To Rock Wilder by Method Man and Redman. So my shit will go all over the place depending on where I want to be.
I think I am pretty I'm pretty like wild a lot of times, you know? That's why I think I smoke weed to help me calm down. So usually when I pick music to work out to or to run to, it is something of a slower pace. I will say the Sabrina Carpenter girl pop phase right now that I'm in is faster, but most of the time I listen to like indie folk that's sad while I work out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can kind of feel it on that, because I have a lot of indie rock that I like in my life. I think the one that kind of best shows the more relaxed side of what I'll get into, I'm looking here, is 93 Till Infinity. So whenever I hear that, it's the most serene. Like, it's my favorite beat of all time, I think. But it's one that just is so relaxed. It's a very California vibe. And every time I hear it, I just go like, okay, I'm just competing. I'm not out here doing anything fucking crazy. This isn't rocket science. This is just, I'm either going to submit this guy, get subbed, or we're going to have a real boring match. So one of these 3 things is possibly going to happen. And it just gets me into the right mindset of, don't make this out bigger than what it needs to be. It's just for fun, dude.
I like that.
All right, sir, where are we going next? We just did Pump.
All right, let's do Sign Up. Let's hit the corners.
Ooh, my man, I see you have a strategy here, and I have to tell you, there is no real strategy to any part of this game, but I appreciate it. All right, here's your prompt. As someone whose content that airs on Patreon, what is the most frustrating thing you've experienced in getting people to sign up for so far?
I think that, man, that's a tough question. I think the most frustrating thing would have to be that we put out quality content, whether it's technical or just the roles, how it's exciting. But neither me or Scaff are super huge names. So I think that people don't see the value that it actually holds. I think that we put a lot of work into doing these things, and if people would just give it a try and see what we got, they would realize that we put out tons of content and quality content. But I would say that it's not too frustrating, but if I had to pick, that's what I would say.
I think the weird part that I don't know that you're glossing over, but maybe it's hard to put into words, but like you and Scaff together is a pretty good combination because you serve a very similar wheelhouse together, but I feel like your combined efforts are definitely worth meriting and looking and exploring into. So you're right. It is a good bang for your buck between the two of you guys.
Yeah. We thought that like the idea of following a coach and a student on the path to becoming world champions was a pretty dynamic view into our lives. And like Scaff is a great teacher. I think that I am a fairly good teacher. Scaff is a good, obviously, martial artist. And then I think that I am a very good martial artist. That's exciting to watch as well. So I feel like, yeah, we have a really good dynamic to the Patreon as well.
Do me a solid and kind of walk me through what you offer on Patreon.
So I think we have different, um, 5 different topics or like subsections. So we have Scaff teaching, we have me teaching, we have live roles that are like followed by a camera that Scaff goes through and will decipher the whole round. We have stationary rounds to where I just have a tripod up and it's just me rolling with whoever. And then I also do a podcast on there to where at least once a week I'll break down one of my competition videos at the end of the podcast. The podcast is just like a short 5 to 10 minute video of me talking about how training is going and what I got coming up. And then, like I said, once a week, I'll break down one of my competition videos. Scaff teaching is usually a one-on-one with him and Uki, or again, I don't know how to say that, but with him and Nolan, and he'll just break down a topic that he's working on in the gym or that somebody's asking. That's another thing that we ask people to do on the Patreon is when they come on there to let us know things that they want to see or always question the things that we put out there so that we can answer the questions.
So maybe this is slightly, I don't think it's off topic, but maybe it's off interest. I just saw today that Patreon put out a email that said that they're adding some stuff in terms of things to attract people. That you can gift people things. So you can gift out free months, I think, now to people who are on your subscriber list, which I actually think is very good. And I think the intention is to take free people and make them into buyers.
Yeah.
But the second thing they're doing, and I think this is definitely up your guys' wheelhouse, is that you can now start selling collections. So let's say people are really there for the techniques, right? If you had everything bracketed as techniques, you could sell a collection, almost like you're selling, I think, especially for jiu-jitsu people, really that's like a replacement for a DVD or an instructional.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just my little hint to you guys, because I don't do techniques, but I'm happy to fill that idea to you guys where I'm like, no, you guys sell techniques. That's what you guys do. So
that's super interesting. Yeah, we'll for sure get onto that.
I'll forward you the link that they sent out earlier today, but
I appreciate that.
It crossed my mind when I looked at it and I was just like, okay, you have a Patreon, I have a Patreon, which means I also have a response on this one. So I will let you know on my side. It's not just you who has this frustration. It's me. Here's my favorite thing about having a Patreon. No matter how many times, if you watch this show, beginning and end the show, hey, I have a Patreon. Here's where it is. Hey, Raph, I didn't know you have a Patreon. Where can I find it? What do you mean, where can you find it? What the shit is the show name that I do? Look at this. Grappling Hour. Where do you think you're going to find it on Patreon? Take one wild guess what I named my Patreon. Take a second wild guess if you went to patreon.com and just said, like, I wonder where I can find Rafa Sparza. Let's see if Grappling Hour comes up. Oh, look, it's this dumb face. To my friends, I love you guys. There is a free component of what I do. So it is usually a paywall for 30 days for most of my interviews, and then you can see it for free. But I just ask for those of you who do sign up, go through Patreon especially. YouTube's nice, but you don't make as much money off of YouTube. So just saying, look at this handsome face. Look, your sweetheart, you Albert Morales. I'm just saying, it's the easiest way to find my stuff. I have tried to user-friendly hand it on a plate, but the nerve sometimes of people being like, I want to support you, but like, where can I find it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the one. Because I go, I feel like I say it too much, and yet apparently I am not. So for the love of God, go onto that site and go do that thing, friends.
Yes, I think that I have now started trying to plug it into everything. It doesn't matter what I could just be talking and say like, oh yeah, side control. And honestly, if you remember to do it on Patreon, we have something about side control.
Can I tell you the secret idea that I've had that I've yet to do, but I think I have to do this video.
Let's hear it.
All right. When I'm rolling with people, I think I have to, before I finish like an arm bar, be like, have you signed up for my shit? Like they may be tapping and I'm like, I'm not letting this go until you sign up.
Mm-hmm.
Like legitimately bring them their phone with their free hand it to them. I will hold this one. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I got time. And I just wonder if it'll go up more, because what people don't understand is my whole moniker is not for you, but for civilians. I am somewhat difficult to submit. So as a result of that, I've had guys in the past be like, how come that dude submitted you? And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, I have to work my ass off to submit you. And that dude just literally did it in seconds. I was like, well, he subscribes. So yeah, he gets shit real easy, dude. And they're like, but that's like so dumb. And I was like, not for me. Helps me pay bills. Fuck you guys.
Exactly.
My ego can take any hit like that. I don't give a shit. I don't have a competition record. I'm just the guy who does this. You guys all have whatever you need. And I was like, but I do ask. I'm like, wait, did you subscribe on Patreon or YouTube? All right, YouTube works. That's fine. Yeah, you got this. Good job, guys.
Yeah, I like that.
So I do feel like the next time you and Scaff are doing like a run up on the numbers, just see what happens if you guys start double teaming, because there would be nothing funnier than you about to hit somebody with a triangle. And this dude's like, I haven't signed up. And Scaff comes in with this cell phone of the dude being like, you can do it right now, man. You can choose your own destiny. You can save yourself.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. I'll have to steal your idea and make a funny video.
Oh shit! Now you're gonna wait. I gotta do this first. Hold on. I gotta get that up very quickly. Then you guys are very fast. I've seen how fast that moves. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
I was gonna say, we'll be done next week. For sure.
Shit, dude. All right, I don't have much time. All right, sir. We have 2 left. Where are we going next?
All right, let's do pitch.
Pitch it is. With just a few slots left, make your pitch as to who should get the last invites to the Craig Jones Invitational.
Oh man, I would have to pitch for myself. I think that I am a catch to the fans because I am super new and I'm super exciting. I think that I bring a level of excitement that a lot of grapplers don't, because I am going out there to die on my sword. I also am capable of many a subs. In the PGF, I had 11 submissions, all 11 different submissions. I also think that I am somebody worth being the face of something. I hold myself to a certain standard of morals and of accountability. So I think that I'm not only a good athlete, but a good representative of companies. And then anybody else who wants to catch the smoke can be on there as well.
That is, it's not like it's wrong, but I like that you save just a few extra seconds at the end of that, just to be like, okay, me, 57 seconds. And with the last 3, anybody who wants to smoke, catch these hands, fam. Any of you guys.
Yeah, I've been trying to be the nice guy, and that's not working. So I think I gotta have somewhat of a villain stage to myself too. I'm a nice guy, but I will put these hands on whoever wants me to put the hands on them.
It's all right. So we're starting to get into your villain arc now. I see what's happening here. I like the idea that you're like, I tried being the nice guy. I tried getting the invites the right way, but now I gotta threaten motherfuckers. So yeah, I think we're clearly at that phase. But I always subscribe to the closed mouths don't get fed mentality. So, there have been plenty of opportunities that I wish I would have had. Maybe I should have been a little more vocal, but it is what it is. So, having said that, I do think, hey man, make your pitches, get out there, get where you need to be. I will tell you this though. if you hadn't have pitched yourself, I was going to pitch you. So you did pitch yourself. So that means I can't pitch you. I can say like, I wish good things for you, but I want to, let's kind of
let's broaden it. Let's just here.
All right, let's go to this pitch. All right. Camera off you, back on over to me. There's a lot of great athletes I could really mention here. You know, a lot of people who are deserving of getting that $1 million shot. But I'm not going to do that here. I'm actually going to take this opportunity to do what my man Travis did, which is to pitch myself, motherfuckers. You get this guy on your pre and post show. Here's why. I already have the infrastructure. I have all the equipment. I've already done this for the PGF. And I'm just saying this to you guys. I have the right staff. I have the right people. And we just got over the fact of saying closed mouths don't get fed. So this is what I'm telling you to our good friends over at the Craig Jones Invitational. There are very few people who have been doing this as long as I have with my experience and my technique. I'm just saying. Bring me in there. I already have relationships with most of these people, and we will take care of them and you guys. Also, not boring. You could say a lot of things about us, but we're not boring. So there you have it.
I'm super glad that I pitched myself, so you were able to pitch yourself.
I mean, honestly, this is the plight of being a host. The plight of being a host is always guest first. Okay, take care of the guest. The guest took care of himself, and I was like, well, if he took care of himself, I think it would just be a bad choice for me not to take care of me. So I just said, hey, I'm going to do me too.
Hey, the best way to get unhungry is eat. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, dude. I will say, I have heard good things. I definitely would love to do what we do for them. And I feel like we did a good job for PGF and made it a unique experience that was unlike any other show. So just saying, we'd love to do that for the Craig Jones Invitational.
I for sure didn't listen to any commentary during the PGF. So whenever the matches were going, I had it on silent. But I did tune in for the pre and post show every night.
Thank you. So, it's very nice of you to say. But yes, we will be doing that again come this November. So what is this? Yo, just as I said this, I just saw somebody come on to become a free trial member on my Patreon. Dude. See? That's why we do this shit, fam. What? Self-promotion works.
Yes, sir.
All right. We got one last one here, sir. So I'm going to go ahead and pick it for you already. Let's get to it right now. Help. Michael Chandler has waited for Conor McGregor for over 2 years. And it looks like he'll have to wait even longer if he wants that red panty night payday. If you could give any advice to Michael Chandler, what should he do next?
Get over trying to fight Conor McGregor. I think that Conor McGregor is not really looking to fight. I think that whatever he's doing is just some sort of clout chasement still. He's made all the money in the UFC that I think he's desired to make. He has a yacht or two, and he's not really wanting to fight no more. I think if he's in the UFC's mouths, it's because he's looking for a little bit more endorsement for himself. Michael Chandler, go for that BMF belt against Max Holloway, and that's your best bet.
There we go. See, look at this. This is how you can tell you've been doing a podcast now. My man's thought about this. He's clear of mind. He's giving you the right choice here. And I'm going to go right in those footsteps right now because I'm going to go straight into that help. And I'm going to take camera off of you, back onto me. Michael Chandler. Fun story here, people. Michael Chandler put up a post where he was walking in the woods and he was basically going through and giving this long speech about how we need to overcome something and that keep your eyes on the prize. I don't even know. Like it's so discombobulated. And I literally said on a post when I shared that video, I just said, hey, the worst part about Conor dicking this dude around is that we do have to go through inspirational nonsense like this. Guess what? He saw it, or at least his team did. And he responded by saying, thanks for the follow. Now, listen, dude. I get giving back to these people is one thing, but you shouldn't have time to give back to me. If anything, that tells me you got too much time. We're all pulling for you to have good fights, but let's not get over the fact that when we see something like this, I think all of us are concerned that you've been chasing it for this long, that we just want to see you get back to action. And yes, there is something kind of weird where you would have been offered a huge payday with Connor. And it's not wrong to pay for that or wait for it. But are you doing okay, buddy? Like, I'm legit concerned. And to take the time to respond to us, yes, it is a shit post, but I don't think it's a wrong shit post. And I stand by it. And you know what? I did you the honor of not even responding to it because I was like, I don't even hate you, man. When I saw you respond, or again, your team, because it could be your team, I never know. Nobody wants you to be looking bad. We want you to fight, bro. Like, goddamn, dude. I don't want to make this any sadder than it needs to be. But you waited for 3 years for this, dude, when we could have seen you fight some other top tier talent. Sad.
Yeah. And he could have been getting paid, maybe, yes, not as much, but been making money while waiting for the fight still and staying ready.
It's just the last of his prime years. That's the part that sucks, is that it's one thing if you are willing to wait and you have nothing left that you want to fight for, or that maybe you're just like, hey, after I have that fight, I'm done. I don't need to worry about anything. I don't think that's the case. I think this dude still feels he's got a good run in him. You know, maybe doing that next Dustin Poirier kind of run where it's like, hey, let's see how far this goes. But given this and the mileage, I'm like, bro, I don't know that things go well for you. The more you put into that more mileage you get. So it just got me concerned, man. All right.
Yeah.
So Travis, here's the way the end of the show works. So we made our way through 6 topics. Now, none of these really threw you off too much, but we did get some interesting answers, and we went through all of these different hot topics. What I like to do at the end of the show is give you the opportunity to ask me a question that you think could trip me up, or that sometimes requires a hot take, or one that you think might be a controversial topic. So you are welcome to throw any topic you want at me. I feel it is only fair. So what do you have in mind that you would like to ask me and see what I would have a response to?
Okay, so this is a little bit of a futuristic question. You've now done 6 shows for the PGF, and it is successful, like it is. It's going the way that it's going, but they're still only at the $100,000 mark. The CJI is gaining tons of traction, and they ask you to do the show the same day as the PGF. Where are you going and why?
That's a tough question. I like that. What I would say is this. Sometimes the best opportunity for the athletes is not necessarily the best opportunity for the supporting staff. So I think I'd have to know the particulars. I think I'd have to know, like, hey, what are you offering your support staff? What are you offering my team? Because it's nice that you can take care of me, but the way I pitch us is as a group. So it's kind of one thing, like, if one of us is unavailable, obviously I say, like, hey, I'll either fill them in or we'll do something else. As a whole, PGF took care of us already, so they already have that in their advantage. I think it would really come down to who's paying more. Because the one thing I will say is, I'm not asking for them to pay us revolutionary money. I don't think that that's the case. But as we start to pay the athletes more, I think it is going to become more difficult for these organizations to not pay us respectable amounts as well. So that was one thing that I did say to Brandon was, you know, when we were talking about this, it was like, hey, do you mind doing this? And he told me right off the bat, he's like, I wish it could be more. And I was like, hey, man, scale it up as we go. That's all I'm going to ask you. Like, I'm not going to tell you to break the bank on just me. That's not how this works. However, the more times we have to talk about how much the athletes make and that we're not scaling up ourselves, it is going to become more difficult to do that conversation. So I would say right now, well, because I want to be hired by CJI, I want to get that job right now. I'm going to say them. But I would tell you this. It's only because I know so far, unless things change, we already have a gig come November doing the 7th season of PGF. And I think Brandon knows that.
Yeah.
And plus, Brandon's
Yeah.
going to be working the CJI. So he'll be right there with me. But
Absolutely.
I can tell you this, man. We have no better cheerleader for us on that side than BMAC. So I think that speaks well to this organization that they rallied behind our show in other ways other than just their show. So
Yeah.
I think that is a very cool thing to see. And I don't know that a lot of other organizations are going to do that. So we're definitely very happy with them. And I think you're going to see us back there for hopefully years to come, because it felt like a good fit, man. It felt like we were making something. Like, I really wish that we did that more, because I went back to the work the next week and was just like, the fuck we doing here? We should be doing this as a league. This should be a job. This should be a full-time job. And I ended up putting up a post that was just like, hey, to all you guys, like, you can say it's a cool one-time thing, or you can continue putting in the work to make this a real gig. Like the NFL is a real gig, or like all those people that have seasons or full-time jobs. That's what I want. So
I think that there's enough athletes that are willing to put that work in that it could be successful. The hard part is making it consumable for the audience year round and getting people to back the teams. And there obviously has to be some kind of dynamic switch in it. And the PGF is, I mean, they're right there close to figuring out how to get it. But I think it needs just a little bit more tweaking.
I think, the nice part about it is the best way you learn is to just do it. So many of these things are theoretical. So many of these things don't face the harshness of when shit gets thrown up against the wall and how do you fix it. And I feel like the PGF getting those reps in has just made it all the more authentic. And really, there's an essence that other organizations are going to try and capture that are similar to it. But if they're bigger or different, it won't have the same feel. Like, they're going to give a vibe that's similar to it. So I feel like the best thing it's got going on is that uniqueness, and they can run with that uniqueness as they curb the things they need to curb. But from what I saw, a fun presentation all the way around, like top to bottom.
Absolutely.
Well, sir, great question to end with. If I don't get hired by either of those people, I'm coming back to you directly and yelling at you, because now I have footage of it. But I have a good feeling for one, if not both of those things in the near future. But I can tell you this. It has been a pleasure getting to chat with you, sir. What I would like to do is I'd like to put the camera on you so that you can plug anything you'd like to plug and tell the people where they can find you, sir.
Absolutely. You guys can find me on all social medias at _the_mantis. My Patreon, or mine and Scaff's Patreon, is Scaff and the Mantis. And I would also like to give a shout out to my sponsors, because like he was just saying, this sport has not made it yet. So I am a free athlete. And without my sponsors, I couldn't do anything. So that's H&F Auctions, G3 Solar, Sugar Mama Skin, and then there's a couple others, but we won't just drown you guys with sponsors. I appreciate all of them. Thank you for letting me come on here and share my story and answer some good questions. I appreciate that.
Likewise, my man. It's been a long time coming, and you really are doing such an excellent job in the technique and communicating that technique space. I think it's a tough gig to do, but it's always friendly. It's always fun. And I think you have a unique style that is really penetrating through and like actually getting people to be engaged. And I wish you continued success, and you got a really good guy in Scaff and obviously a great network out that way. So keep continuing to do what you do, and congratulations on your recent promotion. I know this weekend was your first competition as a brown belt, but I am very much looking forward to seeing what that belt does for you in the near future, sir.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Of course, I'll talk to you off air in just a second, but thank you so much for coming on, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, you guys, that's about it for us here at Running the Gauntlet. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of the show. A couple quick reminders before we get you on out of here. You can like, comment, and subscribe. If you don't know what you want to comment on, I'll give you a topic. What is the music that pumps you up when you are going to compete? So put that in the comment section down here, anywhere in here. That's your thing. That's what you guys can put. We appreciate that. You can also do one of the following. You can like, comment, subscribe if you didn't do any of that before. You can find us on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. You can go to my Patreon at patreon.com/grappling hour. 30 days of embargoed interviews at your fingertips for just $5. And for a few extra more, you can see my technique breakdowns with the athletes, our tape studies, our roast rafts, our additional bonus content not available anywhere else. So check that on out at patreon.com/grappling hour. And finally, you can join our Discord at Grappling Hour in case you want to continue the conversations that we have here. Ladies and gents, that's going to do us for us here at Running the Gauntlet. Tomorrow, we will be on air with another installment of The Bullpen. Myself, Tim Freeman, and a guest? Question mark? We'll see. But that should be at around 2:30-ish at Best Coast time. All right, ladies and gents, that's going to do it for us here at Running the Gauntlet. It has been a great day for grappling.